Hey guys, and welcome back to Small Town Solutions. Tonight for dinner we are making slow cooker roast with kale. Now I'm thinking you're probably not sure what I mean by kale. It's not your grandmother's kale. This is a recipe that I got from my grandmother. It's a Austrian style kale. So it's going to sound a little bit weird, but stick with me and it turns out really good. So the first thing you want to do is I've had a roast marinating for the last 24 hours in a spice rub that you can see in front of me. I'll put a picture below of these spices up close so you can use them yourself or choose whatever spices you want. These are the ones that I like, and this has been for 24 hours. I also have in here a little bit of stew meat because the roast wasn't all that big, and I had some old stew that was in the freezer that was starting to go freezer burn, so this is the perfect way to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this roast and stew meat, put it in your slow cooker, bag juice and all. You want to have as much liquid in here as possible, but you're not going to make a gravy out of this, so you really don't need as much liquid. Because I'm in a little bit of a hurry here for dinner, I only got about 4 hours before dinner. I'm going to put this guy on high heat. You could put it on low heat, so I usually say 4 hours on high, 3 to 4 hours on high, 5 to 6 hours on low, depending on the size of your roast. But because this is a smaller roast and I'm running short on time, we're going to go ahead and put this guy in for 4 hours on high. So literally all you want to do, I do have the camera set up here so you guys can see inside the crock pot, and I'll have it down the line in the video when I'm making kale too, so just so that you guys can see this. So all you want to do, take your contents of the bag, everything as you guys can see here, and just dump her on in, just like so. Grab a little bit of water. You don't want to waste any of it. Give her a good shake up, seal it. It's not perfectly sealed, but that's okay. Get as much of that liquid, all that marinade out of there as you can. Good enough. And go ahead and dump it all on over. There you got the liquid. You want to make sure all that's flat. Grab yourself a fork. Kind of position everything inside the liquid as best you can. All that roast is in the center. There we go. And the stew meat, chunks of it will just go around the edges. And there we go. Now that is good to go. I wouldn't suggest adding any more spice to this. If you use the spices I've used, it's going to be a little bit spicy, but that's just how I like it. Again, choose however you want. So go ahead, put the lid on, and there you go. We're going to come back here in about 3.5 hours. I'm going to start making the kale. So the kale is going to be potatoes with kale, and you got to make a roux to thicken everything up. Sounds a little bit crazy, but bear with me, and it'll turn out amazing. So why don't you guys come on back here in a couple hours, and we'll show you what else we have to do. Well guys, it's been a couple of hours. The roast is coming along quite nicely. I'm moving on to the next step of making kale. So for the people that are looking at this camera, you'll see this camera in the very bottom corner. That's what the inside of your crock pot looks like. Like I said, I got the roast right here, and there is a couple pieces of stew meat in here as well. It's been going for about 3.5 hours roughly. So this is ready to go. It's still on high. I want to cook it as long as I can. But the next step here is to make the kale. Now to make the kale, it's very simple. Potatoes. Any kind of potato that you like, go ahead and cube up your potatoes into smaller chunks. The next thing you're going to need is kale. Now I actually didn't make this part. My grandmother did this for me, so I believe all she does is she takes kale, blanches it, partially cooks it, takes it, freezes it. So all you're going to do is you're going to throw your potatoes into a pot of boiling water, just enough water to cover the potatoes, maybe a little bit more. Add some salt in there. And then as soon as it comes to a boil, you're going to throw your frozen block of kale in there. You're going to boil everything together and then mash the heck out of it. So you're basically making kale mashed potatoes. And then you're going to add a roux to it after, which is just flour and oil or butter, depending on what you want to use, to thicken it up to make it kind of the consistency of baby food. That's the easiest way to explain it. It's something that I grew up eating, so I'm going to show you guys what this looks like when it's all said and done. It turns out really good when it's done properly. So yeah, come back here in a little bit and I'll show you how to finish it up. I'll show you guys how to make the roux and exactly the stuff that, or the consistency that you're looking for. Alright guys, the potatoes behind me, they've come to a boil. I've added the salt, the potatoes are in there. Enough water, about that much, is just covering up the top of the potatoes. You can see in the camera, like I said, that camera will be down in the corner of this video. You can see it's at a rolling boil. Now we're going to go ahead and take this frozen block of kale, just dump her right in there. It is frozen, so you're going to want to put the lid on it, get it all steamed up. grab the old spoon here and just kind of get her buried in there. There we go. Bury that right in the center. Then you're going to want to go ahead, take your lid. Oop, wrong lid. There's another. Take your lid and cover it. And there you go. You're going to let that sit and boil away. It's going to take about 10-15 minutes. You want the kale to be completely mushed. You want the potatoes as well mushed. So now you're going to mash them up and you're going to turn these into mashed potatoes. And now the next thing we're going to work on is the roux. So I'll get the camera on the other side of the stove here. I'll show you guys how to make the roux. Once the potatoes have cooked down, most of the water is going to be gone. Then you're going to add that hot roux into what is left of that pot, and that's going to thicken up any of the remaining water and turn it into, like I said earlier, baby food. So over in this pan, here we go. As you guys can see from this camera, again, that camera will be in the corner of this video. So look over there. You're going to see small little pan. Cast iron works really good for this. Unfortunately, I don't have a small cast iron, so I'm just going to use the rock pans. They work also just as good. We're going to go ahead and add in flour. And I'm just eyeballing this right now. Looks about right. About 1/4 cup. Then I want to take some good old oil. I'm just using regular canola oil. You can use avocado oil. You can use whatever oil you want. We're going to go ahead and make this a little wet now. Sure. Go ahead and mix it. Yes, I'm using a fork in the pan. Probably not the greatest, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and mix this up. And like I said, you're going to know when you got the right consistency, when everything looks like wet sand. Then you want to give her, cook it down so that this isn't the flavor, like you're not just tasting flour. So you want to cook it down a little bit. I need more. That's not enough roux. That's also a thing. You're not sure how much you need until you need it. So I always kind of eyeball it and then add it in and go, oh, no, that's not enough. So I like to make too much. A little bit more oil. And give this a mix. Way more oil. Make sure you get all the little bits off the corner. There we go. Now we got the right consistency here. That's what I'm looking for. That's the perfect consistency, ladies and gentlemen, from the people looking in this camera. That's perfect. Yep. So we're just going to let that cook down a little bit here, get a little bit of color. You're going to know you got the right roux when the color starts to turn kind of a darker brown. Right now we got skin color, you know, I wanted to have a nice golden, like a hazelnut color, a little bit darker. In the meantime, we're going to go over here to our kale and we're going to mash it. So, throw it on the cutting board. Yep. And as you guys can see, I'll give you a quick shot in there. There's a little bit of liquid in the bottom, but that's fine. Oh, this is coming to a simmer. Give her another stir. You don't want to overcook it now. Turn down your heat. You just want this on low. There we go. That's looking beautiful. Grab your potato masher and go to town on the kale and the potatoes. Mash it all up. Like I said, you're basically looking for baby food at this point. So you want to give her a really good mash down. Come back here to our roux. Make sure it's not burning. And it is not. This is turning out perfectly. Take the camera. And as you guys can see, that's the kale now with the potatoes. As you can see, most of the water is gone, but it's very liquidy in here. And that's what the roux is going to thicken up. So keep mashing away. All the kale's been mashed in here. You want it as thin as possible. Don't go with the food processor thin, but you know, as thin as you can. Get rid of all those clumps. This is looking perfect. I got the right consistency, I like it. This is what our roux is looking like. It's looking actually very nice. Can use a little bit longer. Now you're gonna take the hot roux as it's still simmering away. We're gonna add this in. Just get that all in there. You can let it cook a little bit longer if you want. I'm just about ready. That's exactly where I like it. Get that all out. And then we're going to incorporate this by just taking your spoon. As you guys can see in that camera, we're going to stir that in. That's going to turn everything, thicken it. As you can already see, that's thickening it really quickly. Make sure there's no clumps of that roux left over. Raw flour is the most unappealing thing to run into when you eat kale. You get a chunk of it's not good, trust me. So make sure you incorporate your roux in here really well. Make sure there's no clumps. And there you are. As you guys can see in this camera right here, that's the consistency of kale. Kale and mashed potatoes. So it's, well, looks like baby food. And I'm pretty sure as a baby I did eat a lot of this, and I can tell you that as a fact. We ate a lot of this as a baby. It's very easy to digest. You don't need teeth. People without teeth, this is a great dish. And there you go. That is my grandma's recipe for kale. So we're gonna go ahead now and grab the roast here out of the slow cooker. We'll cut it up, and that gets put with this. And there's dinner. I'll show you guys the final dish. And there you guys go. There's dinner. You got your kale and you got your roast that's been in the slow cooker. It did overcook a little bit, but that's okay. But the real question here is, how does it taste? So let's find out. Let's grab a chunk of roast right here. Dip it into the kale. That's the way to eat it. Yep. Tastes just like childhood. That's so good. This is an amazingly easy meal to make, as you guys have seen. It's got your potatoes, it's got vegetables. The roast, like I said, it's very easy to just throw that in the slow cooker for 3 or 4 hours kind of thing. It kind of overcooked on this one, but in the slow cooker, that doesn't matter. It never really dries out. It's really good. With all the leftovers that you have here, this actually goes really good with European wieners. Just if you don't have roast, you can use European wieners. That's something that we do quite often. Even put it on toast. That is a really weird way to eat it, but yes, you can put kale on toast. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why, but growing up as a kid, I ate it that way quite often. But yeah, so that is kale, my grandmother's way. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, there shouldn't be any concerns, but that's okay. If anyone's got any comments or questions, drop me a line in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys, and if anybody has any other recipes they'd like for me to try, send me a message. I'd love to try them. Or if you've tried kale yourself, let me know. I'm sure you've not tried it this way. Thanks again, though, for tuning in, guys. And remember to follow, like, subscribe, share this with all your friends, and see you again next time on Small Town Solutions Cooking Hour. Thanks, everyone.